Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today on Vox&Hops, I sit down with Pétrick Martin, who's one of the owners of Le Fermentor, which is a new brew pub which opened last year in L'Assomption. L'Assomption is a tiny city outside of Montreal, and Pétrick tells me why he decided to set the pub up there. We discuss his early life growing up, how he got into music. He talks to me about his new project called Le Fucking Raymonds, which is a French cover band of the Ramones, which is getting quite some buzz up here in Montreal. So sit back, grab your pint, and get ready for the next episode of Vox&Hops.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, how's it going? Matt here. On location. This is the first on-location Vox&Hops podcast. We are in L'Assomption at Le Fermentor. And I'm here with Pétrick Martin. How are you doing, man?
Fine, man. Just woke up.
Yeah, same here. It's an honor to be on location.
Welcome.
At your pub. I've never been here before. I've heard a lot of great things about it.
Cool.
Christian Donaldson's always raving about it.
Yeah.
And I never had the chance to come out to L'Assomption, which is a little bit out of Montreal.
Yeah, welcome to L'Assomption, man.
So what have you been doing? What's been going on with you in your life?
My life, I'm working a lot. With the bar, we're working 7 days a week. The only day off we got is when we have shows, me and Jeff. So we're working a lot. We just had our license for the brewery, so it's kind of a stress that went away. We're working a lot on this for the past 10 months, and it's great to finally got the license to brew.
Okay, when did you open the doors of this place?
We opened the doors here a year ago in July 2017, and we were brewing our beer in another brewery in Boisbriand, Microbrasserie Le we were renting their kit to brew there, and on the side we were building our factory, our brewery in Le Gardeur. And a year later, we got our licenses, so that's great.
That's amazing. That's actually fast compared to what normally people...
Yeah, that's kind of complicated to get the license with the Régie des Alcools and everything, the government, federal, provincial.
It's very strict.
Yeah, it's strict, and... that was a lot of stress, but now we're feeling good.
So now when you say that you got your license, it means that you can bottle your beer and sell it in stores.
We can brew our own beer. We already were brewing our own beer, but now we can do it in our kit. We can bottle or can beer. We can distribute in another bar, in dépanneur, in a grocery and everything. So that's going to come in a couple of months. For now, we're just brewing to deliver here at the bar, because in the summer we're selling a lot of beer, so we cannot bottle a beer right now, but when winter's gonna come, it's gonna calm down, so we can think about maybe bottle some of the beers we got, the more popular one.
Do you have like an idea of how many you would put out, like at a time, like a starting amount, like how many beers, let's say?
For the amount, I don't know, but we certainly will start with like one or two brand of beer.
Which would be which ones?
The Sven,
which is what I'm drinking right now.
Right now,
it's called Sven.
Yeah, Sven,
and
raspberry pale ale.
A raspberry pale ale.
That's
I'm gonna give it a little taste.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Thanks for having me. We're outside right now because inside there's some renovations going on above Le Fermentor. And so we apologize if there's any cars passing in the background. Please be gentle with us.
Yeah. And yeah, the raspberry pale ale will be one of the first we could bottle or can, because it's the most popular beer we got right now.
It's smooth. It's light. Yeah. It doesn't taste chemical like a lot of raspberry beers that you'll find on the market.
But that's because we use real raspberries. It's not concentrate or juice. We put real raspberry into the beer, a lot of raspberry, so it's a beer that is expensive to brew, but it's worth it because it sells a lot.
Do you have like a relationship with a local farmer to get the raspberries?
Right now. No, we're buying raspberries from a grocery.
Like Costco or like.
It's Mera.
Okay.
For the restaurants and everything. I think it's like Chilean raspberries.
Okay.
Because just like I told you, raspberry are really expensive, so we gotta take the best deal we could
Absolutely,
because it would
absolutely.
be mind-blowing how much it would cost to blow this
if you're
this beer.
organic, hand-picked
bio raspberries. But we will we would love to have 100% Québécois
product,
beer products and everything. But we gotta work on it and talk with some farmers around here.
That's because we're for people that know, we're in the L'Assomption and it's outside of Montreal, and there's like many farms around.
Yeah. We just had a talk with a guy who's growing Cameries. I don't know in English. Cameries.
I don't know.
That's kind
of
like
little tiny little berries.
Yeah, kind of like a blueberry, but longer.
Yeah,
and we're testing the Cameries right now into a beer.
That'd be good.
That's the same base beer, the same base of beer of the Sven, but without the raspberry. We put the Cameries.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
I had the chance to taste it yet. It's fermenting right now, and I can't wait to taste it.
Yeah, and it's the best part of your job, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Tell me, like, I always play a game with my wife, and I've brought it onto the podcast, describing this beer as a person. If you could describe your Sven, well, it has the name Sven, so you're going to be biased a bit.
Yeah.
Imagine any person in the world. Who would Sven be? This beer.
Actually, this beer was named after a guy. Sven was the guitar player of Parabellum punk, a French punk band, and there was Sven and Schultz. We have also a beer named Schultz. Schultz and Sven were the two guitar players of Parabellum, and Jeff toured with these guys in France, and they passed away 3 years ago. These guys were like hardcore drinkers and hardcore drugs. And
Rest in peace, Sven and Chuck. Yeah.
And Sven was all just like Jeff told me. I didn't met Sven, but Sven told me. Jeff told me that Sven was kind of the Keith Richard of the punk, and was always wearing a red suit and everything. So Sven, the red beer fits with the name and the guy. Yeah,
personable story, a personable beer.
So I cannot think about anybody else. That
it's Sven. Yeah. Cheers to Sven.
Cheers to Sven.
In his honor.
Rest in peace, Sven.
It's really good. It's very refreshing. Do you remember what your first beer was and your first experience with beer was as growing up?
As drinking beer?
Yeah.
Holy shit. First beer was...
It doesn't have to be what beer, like an experience, like...
No, it wasn't. It was commercial beer at first.
Of course.
I think I was like maybe... I think I was like 6. And my father just... we were listening, we were watching hockey with my grandfather too, and they were drinking beer. And my father was always telling me, "Hey man, get me some beer in the fridge." I was coming back with the beer, and he was telling me, if you're able to open it, you can get a sip.
Okay.
And at 6, I was able to open the beer, and I had a sip, and it didn't taste so good.
No.
I was oh shit, what was that?
Hopefully it was cold at least.
Yeah, it was cold. Yeah. And I remember one time when I was young too, my father poured me a glass of beer. Maybe I was 8 or something, and I drank the full glass, and I kind of felt dizzy.
Yeah, that
was my first experience with alcohol.
That head buzz there.
After later on, when I was a teenager, I had all my experiences with alcohol and beer. And I remember some years, for like maybe 3 years, I wasn't drinking at all because I've been so sick at parties and everything.
That happens.
And it came back. And when I started drinking again, I started drinking like craft beers and everything.
What was the first craft brewery or beer that opened your mind?
It might be Unibrew, it's a more commercial ones, but I was like Fins Monde and thing like this.
You got to take your hat off to Unibrew. They really they paved the way for a lot of Quebec breweries for sure. For
a long time in groceries, the only craft beers you could find was Unibrew and some McCausland beers like Coup de Grisou and everything. And it just explodes a couple of years ago, and there's craft beers everywhere.
You can't. I can't even keep up.
No, you can't.
But it's a pleasure. I enjoy it. Tell me about you as a kid. What was you as a kid growing up, getting into the music scene?
Oh shit, man! When I was a kid, I was very shy. When I was in high school, I had a small group of friends who were listening to heavy metal and everything. Were kind of the outsiders. And I started singing in some bands in high schools who were like doing covers, Pantera covers, Korn covers, and Metallica covers and everything. It kind of just let my personality develop over the years, because I was kind of really shy, and it helped me to just get out of my box and discover some great music and meet some new people too, and be more I don't know how to say it, open to talk with people and not be the shy guy I was when I was young.
When you first started.
Yeah.
And what band was there? Was like one key band or one key singer that said, oh, you picked up a mic and you're like, oh, I can do this.
Oh, yeah. Well, at first it was Pantera and Metallica, but a band that paved the way for me with Reanimator, my first real band, was Exodus. The first time I heard Tempo of the Dam from Exodus, I heard Blacklist, and I said to myself, dude, you gotta do some thrash metal.
This is it. Yeah, this is where it's at.
I remember that day I was in my car and fuck yeah, man. I fucking love Exodus.
Yeah, they fucking rip, man.
Yeah. And there was Exodus, Testament, Anthrax were like the three first, and Megadeth too, that pushed me into doing thrash metal with Reanimator. Since then, I'm doing what I love the most, playing fucking thrash, just playing music and singing on stage. You know what it is. It's fucking great, man.
It's a complete release, and a complete, especially.
I need this, and I know you need this too.
Yeah, it's like a therapy for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about like early concerts that you went to go see? Something where you saw it and you were like, that's what I want to do. Something that moment.
That's kind of funny, because my first concert I went to was a metal concert. It was a little festival around here in Lavaltrie, and it was Anonymous. Anonymous was the first band that I saw live.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And that's funny because right now I got a business with Jeff, who's in Anonymous.
Now sings for Anonymous.
Yeah, and I'm friends with all the guys in Anonymous right now. But I told them too, man, you guys influenced me a lot, man. I started... The first show I saw was Anonymous, and right now I'm just hanging out with the guys
all the time. It's so funny how life works. How did so you heard Exodus, you started Reanimator, you got the guys together. If you could book like a 3-band dream tour for you and 2 other bands, who would that be?
Oh man. Right now. No.
Right now.
The band being right now, not the band being like in the 80s.
It could be any bands. We could play both. We could do a realistic one and then a dream one.
Okay, a dream one would be like, I think, I would love to do like Reanimator opening for Suicidal Tendencies and Exodus headlining.
Yeah, that'd be a badass tour.
Yeah, that would be fucking great.
Those dream tours.
Yeah,
every day you just wake up excited.
Because the 2 bands are actually really good, still really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if I could just go back in time, maybe it'll be in the 80s with Reanimator. We'd love to tour with Megadeth.
Yeah.
Certainly with Megadeth. And Pantera. That would be...
I never got to see them. I'm disappointed about that.
I never seen them too. Jeff did. Fucker.
Chris as well.
Yeah.
He was telling me about it yesterday.
Fuck.
So, out of all the gigs Reanimators play, what could you say is the best?
The best gig we had?
And why? Yeah.
I think the best gig we had was at Fofun Electric with Municipal Waste.
Okay, yeah.
2009, I think. Was it crazy? The Fuf were full crowd, and that was the kind of crowd that fits with Reanimator, so people were just stage diving, crowd. That was very crazy, man.
It's an amazing feeling playing like a packed Foofs.
Yeah,
people
packed venue. That's the best.
At Foofs especially too. It has like this history. It's almost like the CBGBs.
Yeah, exactly.
Of Montreal.
Yeah.
So it's got like this history. You can imagine all the bands that have stood there.
Yeah, man.
I heard even Nirvana played there. It's just to stand on the same stage as Kurt Cobain and stuff. It's very
actually there's legends that pass by the Fofone Electric. That's kind of the CBGB, just like it.
Do you have like your best tour story?
Hey, fuck, man, we got so much tour stories.
Something that like is unbelievable that no one else would understand.
Oh man,
you had to be there to believe it, type thing.
When we were in Europe, I don't know. When we were touring Canada, we were playing at Sault Ste. Marie, a small venue. It was like a Sunday. There was like 15 people, and Fred, our bass player, was kind of high. He just ate brownies, pot brownies, and was kind of drunk too. And we were doing the sound checks, and he decided to just jump on the table in the sound checks. He was just hanging on the tables with his bass, and the table just flipped, and Fred fell face first on the floor, broke his bass, and people were just applauding in the Spinal Tap moment. Man, that was so fucking funny. We were all high and drunk.
That's so funny.
That one of the good story. But in Europe, we had so many stories, man. Always drunk stories that are. It's always with Fred Bizier. Fred Bizier is the drunk ass of the band, and there's so many stories I could tell, man. But I don't know.
What about like a horror story, like the worst?
Oh, the worst! I remember one day we were playing we were going to play in Rouyn-Noranda. And when you're going through the park, you gotta check your gasoline before passing the park, and we just went out of gas in the middle of the park.
Right in the, for people that don't know, going from, let's say, Montreal up to Rouyn-Noranda is a city in the north of Quebec, but you got to drive through a giant like nature park.
Yeah.
It's like
Parc de la Vérandrie.
That's it. And it's like, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, but there are no gas stations anywhere near it. So what did you guys do? You were stuck there, no gas.
Man, we were stuck there. It was the summer. There was like giant flies everywhere eating our fucking cells. And I just went out with my gasoline tank I'm using in the shows with Reanimator, and walking with Frank. Man, there was like
just getting horsefly bits and eaten alive.
And finally some guys stopped and took us to the next gas station and
brought you back too. So sometimes there's good humans.
Yeah,
out there,
man,
right?
we were really lucky, man, to get this guy, because we just arrived on time for the show, and that one was not fun. But and then in Europe too, I remember the van broke at one time in the north of Poland. The show was awful. That was not a good show, and no PA, no stage. That sucked. No toilet. And after the show, we were going to leave with the van, and the van didn't start, and we had like a 15-hour drive to do for the next show.
Of course you did. That's how it works sometimes over there.
We slept in the van. It was fucking cold, and sometimes there was a mechanic that came in and just repaired the van, and we canceled the next day show because we were just like, fuck it, man. I didn't sleep. It was fucking cold, and we cannot arrive on time. So yeah, that's the ones that I can remember. There's much more, but
there's always more.
Yeah, there's so many more.
The ones you want to forget.
Yeah.
When you're on tour, what keeps you sane?
Keeps me sane? I think I'm not sane on tour. That's the problem. I'm kind of drunk all day long. And
is it something like in Reanimator that everyone's drunk most of the time?
Yeah, except for Frank, our drummer. He's the straight edge guy of the band, but he's crazier than everyone in the band.
Is it like something that you guys needed to perform?
No, I don't think we needed to perform. I kind of needed a little to perform, but some of the guys gotta keep it slow before the show, but after the show it's always a party with Reanimator. That's a party band.
That sounds fun.
And yeah, that's fun, but being on tour and being a singer, you gotta take it slow, and
You got to take it easy. You got to rest your voice.
Yeah, and I got difficulty to do this.
You've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I still need to work on this too, because I'm smoking cigarettes, I'm drinking a lot, and sometimes you just lose your voice on tour, and that's your instrument.
Yeah. How do you handle that when you lose your voice on tour?
Man, don't talk, drink water, honey,
and still play the gigs.
Yeah, you got to do it. And yeah, that gig in Sault Ste. Marie, I was talking earlier. I lost my voice the day before. And when we arrived, we were listening to the first bands that were playing. I was telling the guys, seriously, guys, tonight I won't sing. You're gonna do the show without me. And we were listening to the first bands, and I just realized that there was no PA, and you couldn't hear at all the singers. So I told the guys, okay, guys, I'm gonna do just lip sync.
No way. Did your whole show just lip sync?
I did the whole show lip singing, and people didn't see it, and people after the show came to me, hey, man, your voice is fucking great. Yeah, right, man. Thank you, man. I did that, man. I did that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But, but most of the time when I'm kind of roachy and my voice is not that good, when I get on stage, it goes well.
Adrenaline takes over.
When you're screaming, it works. It works well. And anyway, if I was singing clean vocals, that would be fun.
A different story.
Yeah, seriously.
Tell me a little about Les Fucking Raymonds.
Les Fucking Raymonds, yeah.
How did that come to be? Explain to people what that is.
Les Fucking Raymonds is a Ramones tribute band in Québécois. Raphaël, the founder of the band, translated the Ramones songs in French, but in Québécois, it's in slang.
So it's all slang French, yeah.
And he started the band with a singer that was there a couple of months ago. They recorded the songs in their basements. And they recorded the songs in their basements and put this on Bandcamp, and it went viral. Evenco called them, Journal de Montréal, La Presse, Radio Cannes. The guys were, what the fuck is going on? And they were just two guys. They didn't add the band. So they called Frank, my drummer in Reanimator, who's a big fan of the Ramones too, to drum for them. And some guy went on guitar too. And a month before the shows, there was a show booked at 77 Montreal. The singer just kind of went crazy and left the band. And the guitar player too left the band. So Frank told Raphael, man, we gotta call Pétrick and Max. Max, who's my guitar player in T-Bone too. We had a Ramones tribute band called War Dog a couple of years ago in English. So we knew the songs, but for me it was kind of hardcore because I had to translate all the songs.
Mentally too. Yeah,
I hear the song, I hear it in English. I didn't hear it in French, so I had to just switch it up in French, and I was listening to Les Fucking Raymonds for like a month before the show, and it went well. And that's fucked up because we got so much media coverage with this band. I don't know why, but I take it, and
it's like a nostalgia thing, It always hits in, and exactly. It's kitsch because it's funny.
Yeah, that's the funny side of the lyrics helped a lot to make it viral.
Yeah, and it's very Québécois.
Yeah,
appreciates like the Elvis Gratton.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very smart.
It's not only like a tribute band. It's kind of an adaptation of the Ramones, but in Québécois. With there's references to New York that were adapted to Montreal.
It's almost like how the Simpsons.
Yeah.
The Quebec version of the Simpsons. A lot will like that better than the English version.
Exactly.
I know that Ollie from Cryptopsy will appreciates the Quebec version better because he grew up listening to that, and that he finds the jokes are better. But it was smart. It's personalized to a market here. Yeah. Very intelligent.
There we got like a Rockaway Beach from the Ramones became Plage Jean Doré. For the kind of references to Montreal. So
how is it being a frontman thrash band versus punk band? Do you change?
For the voice, it's changed a lot. You got to be kind of versatile, but you got to rock. no matter what the style you're doing, because I'm singing in a thrash metal band, I'm singing in a French hard rock band too. Oh yeah, my band T-Bone. It's kind of
that's what you said before. I wasn't sure.
That's a heavy hard rock in French, and there's Les Fucking Raymonds right now. So see, I just like to sing what no matter what. I gotta love the band too. But But it's kind of different. Just like Les Fucking Raymonds, I gotta impersonate Joey Ramone, who's kind of static on stage and just on his mic. And with Reanimator, it's just like jumping everywhere. Yeah. It's kind of different, but that's fun. I'm touching a lot of sphere in the music, and I like it.
That's amazing. That's really, really amazing. Props to you for that.
Thanks, man.
When did you guys first think about opening a brewery?
For a couple of years, I was dreaming about having my own pub or brewery or something like this, but I was alone. I had no partners or anything. And one day, Fred Bizier, my bass player in Reanimator, who's the bass player in Mass Murder Messiah, Jeff band too, I was talking to him about this, and he told me, man, I talked with Jeff last week, and he told me that he was thinking about doing something like this with his girlfriend, Jenny, who's my partner too. And I called Jeff. Fred told me, man, that you wanted to start a bar, a pub, a brewery, or something like this. I mean, yeah, man, I started brewing my own beer at home, and I would love to just do the project. But me and my girlfriend, Jenny, thinks too hardcore to do it, just the two of us. And I told him, man, if you want a partner, I mean, think about it and let me know. The next day, he was calling me, man, let's do it. So we started to work on the beer recipes and everything. Jeff was brewing a beer every week. We're tasting the beers, we're bottling the beers, we worked hard. And we started to check for a local to just open the bar. And finally we find that place here in L'Assomption, in the downtown L'Assomption, next to the theater. And
why L'Assomption versus Montreal?
I come from L'Assomption.
Okay.
I was born and raised here in LA. Born and raised in LA. And I really love the spirits of Le Village L'Assomption. That's only one street, but everything's here, the restaurants, the theater, the cégep, and everything. Jeff and Jenny didn't know about L'Assomption, and I said to them, you should come and visit L'Assomption. I think you guys will love it. And they came once and they said, oh, yeah, man, we got to do it here. There's like a village spirit here in L'Assomption that's really great. You can just walk and go to a restaurant, go to a bar, another bar, come here.
All on one street.
Yeah.
It's very quaint. When I'd never been here before. When I pulled in just coming here today, I was like, this is...
Yeah, that's nice.
It's like an old village feel to it.
Yeah. That's an old city too.
Do you live here now?
Yeah, I live here now. I live with Jeff right now. We're renting a house 5 minutes from the bar, so
you can walk home after a hard night.
Yeah, we can walk.
What were some of the biggest challenges getting this place off the ground?
The licenses was the biggest challenges. There's so much paperwork to do. You got to deal with provincial and federal government, Régie des Alcools and everything. That's the biggest.
Just to serve here, you need a license.
Yeah, you need a license, a bar license for the terrace, for the bar, for each room. We're doing a little food too, so with the map pack we got some permit, some license too. And right now with the brewery we got like a shitload of license to deal with it. That's the biggest the
hurdle. Yeah. Is that something that you guys take care of, or did you find like an outer party person that knows how to do this?
We did it ourselves, working our ass 7 days a week, and doing the paperwork on the side. And we were preparing the brewery too in Le Gardeur, so we're doing electricity, plumber, and everything.
Okay, because you said you used to brew somewhere else, and now you have your own place set up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and Le Gardeur is the name of a city, or it's a...
Yeah, that's a city next to
L'Assomption.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you have any local or Montreal pubs or inspirations when you set this up?
There's a lot of influences, back in the days here in L'Assomption there was Offenstark brewery was in L'Assomption. There was a little bar. I was hanging out there 4 days a week, and Fred, the owner, moved to Montreal Yeah, and started the Station Host. Ontario, you know.
Yeah.
And I was, man, I can't believe that there's no more brewery in L'Assomption. And I was waiting for someone to do it. Man, someone's gonna open a brewery in L'Assomption someday. I waited 4 years and nobody did it, so I said, "Fuck off,
I'm gonna do it myself."
And I know that Jenny, our partner, was. Really love les haricots in Saint-Hyacinthe.
Okay, I don't know that one. Yeah.
That's not a brewery, but that's like a craft beer pub, and the vibe is really nice at this place. And I know that she wanted the place here to look a little like this. And there was Often Stark, Zarico, and a lot of breweries. You know, you go in every brewery and just look at everything and say, "Oh, that's a good idea. I could take this," and just use everything that you see and blend it together to do our project.
Here's my daddy question: can I come here with my kids?
You can come with your kids on the terrace.
Okay. Yeah.
Until 10.
Okay, that's chill.
Yeah.
That's chill. It's my plan always.
We would love to have the kids inside too, but the government doesn't want.
You'd have to change your license.
Yeah, that's because we have a bar license right now, and for the kids to get inside, we would need to have a brew pub license.
A brew pub license.
And the brew pub license, you got to brew on site.
Okay.
And we don't have the space to brew on site, so we will never have this license. But maybe
in this location,
the laws are changing a lot at Régie des Alcools. Most breweries are getting together and fighting against, not fighting against, but trying to change the laws and everything. You know, for the kids on the terrace, last year it was until 8.
Okay.
And this year it's until 10.
Okay, and that's something that the government changed, the regulation.
Yeah, breweries were like, man, you got to change this. And because the laws are very old school laws that didn't apply to the new view of the microbrewery and everything.
Because it's not like a bar situation.
No,
it's
that's
more
not like a tavern. Or
exactly.
Where you play slot machines, you know.
Darts in the back.
Exactly. Yeah. There's nobody selling cocaine here. No.
Tell me about, have you had to put like stuff on the back burner, like your bands?
Yeah, but
to get this off the ground, is that something you regret, or?
Yeah, that's for sure. We had to like put on hold on some projects. Jeff put on hold on some of his musical projects too. You know, when you're working 7 days a week, it's not easy for the family, for the girlfriends, for your bands, for everything. So in the last year, I still jammed with my band, did shows with my bands. Jeff put on hold on some of his project, but was still working with Anonymous and everything. I lost my girlfriend on the way. That was something that's gonna come.
It might have happened.
Yeah,
and if without the
I was not surprised because I wasn't home at all. So you got to do some sacrifice, but I think it's worth it because. Being your own boss, doing what you love, that was a dream, and I fucking love my job. I don't think that's a job. I came here in the morning at 2, yeah. But
maybe you stay late.
That's not that's my job is to drink and talk with people. That's not a job. Yeah, there's everything on the side, but that's worth it.
Has Jeff put a hold on Badass Studios?
Yeah,
to do this right now.
Yeah, he did. He did put a hold on Badass Studio, and I think that what pushed Jeff to brew beers is that he was kind of fed up with the studio and everything.
Okay, yeah. For people listening, Jeff, Pétrick's partner, used to run a studio called Badass Studios, and he recorded a lot of bands throughout the years, and now he's focusing just on brewing, and he's the main brewer.
Yeah, he's the brewer.
You don't brew?
No, I don't brew. Okay. He's the man.
What was like the first beer that you tasted of his that you were like, wow, we can make this work, you know?
I don't remember. Maybe it was, I think it was a Saison. He did Saison à la mangue. Saison,
à la mangue.
Yeah. And I fucking loved it. And there was this van too. At first, I tasted it and I, dude, man, you don't change anything in this recipe. That's got to be this van. And it's still the same recipe since day one. And yeah, Jeff put an hold on Badass Studio. he told me he's doing some mixes and mastering on the side sometimes, but right now he just don't have the time to record bands, and he would love to record some bands in the future, but I think he's gonna choose his bands
more wisely and focus on
maybe more of his bands and bands of his friends and everything. Because I would love to record with Jeff again with Reanimator.
I've done some tracks with him.
You cannot. We gotta record.
You're not getting away from me.
You know us. You know our sound, and we need you, man.
You don't really have the space for it, but would you like to have bands playing?
We thought about it a lot because we're musicians.
Exactly.
Everybody's telling us that you guys should do shows and everything here, but you've seen the space. It's not really big. The ceilings are really low, and we need some license to do some shows too, and the license require that you have a stage.
Oh yeah. So it has to be like a permanent thing that is set up, which would take away from your table
exactly.
space.
That will be complicated, and if we put a stage, musician would just have the head on the ceiling. So right now, maybe if someday we do some shows, will be like maybe like a one guy, a two guy thing, chansonnier or something like that. Not full bands and no metal bands or punk bands because the place is gonna fall apart. The building is 250 years old, and
wow, it's a very nice location.
Yeah, that's the oldest building in L'Assomption.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
L'Assomption's got a lot of history. It was that's an old city. We just celebrated the 300 years of L'Assomption last year.
Crazy.
And that's an old city.
Take that, Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you guys come up with these tongue-in-cheek names for the beers?
Oh man, being drunk and thinking about some names, man.
There's some great ones. Let's list off a few for the listeners.
There's a lot of beers named after like the muscle movies.
Like action movies.
Action movies, yeah. Jeff's a big fan of action movies, so there was Rambo, Terminator, Harvester Stallone.
Yeah,
that was an Harvest saison. Today, there's a lot of metal reference to the Painkiller. For Judas Priest Painkiller, and there's the La Saison de l'Abysse for Season in the Abyss.
It's so funny.
The Mountain Dude. There's Van and Schultz for the guys in France.
The Justin
Trudeau for Justin Trudeau, the maple red beer.
That's very funny.
But there's so much stupid names we could think of, and sometimes they don't pass the three of us
outside of the beer test. The next morning it doesn't make it. How about like when you guys are going to do your bottles, do you guys have like your artwork set up?
For now we're not thinking about this for now because we're just like brewing to fill
the supply here.
Supply here. In the winter when it's gonna slow down, we're gonna think about it, and we don't know if we're gonna can or bottle. And for the artworks and everything, we got plenty of friends. Fred Bizier, my bassist and Reanimator, is a good drawer too. Dodo, one of my friends, tattooer too, is good. So we're not.
You're not short on.
We're not short on artists, and. But we would love to bottle our beers and distribute around here in the cities around, and maybe a little bit in Montreal too. But we got a small brewing kit, and we're kind of limit to fill
the supply here, at least in the summer right now.
Someday we're gonna grow the kit bigger and
step by step.
Yeah, step by step. And we're doing it with our own finances, and we think get it started smaller and grow
scale
bigger.
It up.
Yeah, then just let's go big and just
you don't want to jump in the lake
exactly.
Right away. Yeah. We talked about it heavy MTL. I'll talk to you about it now. Yeah. I'd love to do a Cryptopsy beer here. We have many, many ideas. I'm just going to pitch one right now, which is the Nun Sober.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Which is a Russian Imperial Porter.
Yeah.
An RIP. If you guys can do age stuff.
Yeah, we're working on that too.
Casks.
Yeah, that would be awesome to have some like barrels and everything.
I would be extremely honored.
Yeah, man.
To have a Cryptopsy Nun Sober
with Jeff,
here.
And I think that's going to be possible in the in the future. Not right now because we're just like starting the shit, but that would be awesome. I would love to, man. I would be honored to do this.
We're super into it.
I think that you guys had some really good ideas with your names and everything.
I'll just pitch you one there.
Yeah.
The Non-Sober is my number one.
Non-Sober is really good, man.
Well, thanks for meeting up with me here. The beer was amazing. The location is sweet.
Fuck yeah.
And I wish you guys all the best of success.
Thank you, man.
Thank you all so much for listening to the third episode of Vox and Hops. Me and Pétrick had a blast on his little patio. Sorry for all the noise that you heard throughout that episode. There was a whole bunch of construction going on inside of Pétrick's building where the bar is set up. So we decided to sit out on the patio, and it's on the main street of L'Assomption. Although it is a tiny city, there was quite a bit of traffic that day. So I appreciate you guys putting up with any weird background noises that you heard throughout that podcast. If you ever feel that to be a good fit with the podcast and you want to sponsor the show, give me a shout out at matt@voxandhops.com, and we'll see if we can work something out together. On the next episode, I sit down with Gore, the lead singer of Erema. We have an in-depth discussion about his early life, how he got into becoming a goth in high school, which transitioned into the black metal, and we have a whole deep discussion about the roots of black metal. What is black metal for him? What does he consider black metal? And it's super interesting. So catch all that on the next episode of Vox and Hops.